You know, there's been lore videos, there's been thought experiments on this channel, but today I wanted to do something different and actually stop for a second, honor one of the greatest actors I have ever seen in many other different series, and now he came to Star Wars, graced us with his presence. That is, of course, I'm talking about Ray Stevenson, rest in peace. He passed away, unfortunately, even before the series came out, so he never really got the admiration he deserved for what he did with Baylan's skull. As you can see, Balon is easily, and I say easily, one of the greatest characters in Star Wars. I believe that's how his character will go down. Whatever happens to him in the end, whether he dies or survives, up until now, until episode 4, with only 4 episodes, mind you, Ray Stevenson achieved something with Balon's skull that I don't think many have, especially when it comes to Star Wars with lately many forgettable characters. So as a tribute to Ray Stevenson, I've read your comments and I've heard your praise. That's why I'm making this video, is because all of you guys constantly cannot believe how Ray Stevenson was able to achieve this. He can't even enjoy the fruits of his labor anymore. So this is for him. He is one with the Force. I mean, the guy is so charming. Here's for my German fans. He speaks a bit of German.
Harvest.
Ah, nice, I love it. RTL.
Richtig?
Ja, meine Bruder is een golfprofi. I don't speak German. The only German I know is, ich möchte ein paar schwarze Kaubestiefel verkaufen, bitte. It's terrible, isn't it?
I want to talk in detail why Baylan's skull is such a great character for Star Wars and how he has completely transformed what it means to be a Force wielder, to be a former Jedi, to subvert expectations. You know, the first time I saw Ray Stevenson, I absolutely fell in love with the actor as a whole, because every character he has ever done, I think, merits something. He gave it his own flavor. I remember watching him in the Rome series, but more specifically, I remember watching him in the Vikings series. Before Ahsoka, he appeared in the Viking series at the tail end when the series wasn't actually that good anymore, but guess who was? That's right, Ray Stevenson brought new light to that series with his character Athelstan. It's really interesting because in that series and now with Balon, he actually kind of played similar characters. They were middle of the line. They knew what their purpose was, although it was mysterious to a lot of fans, and in turn this gave his characters more richness, more admiration. I feel like somewhere down the line Dave Filoni and Ray Stevenson came completely together to form this character. You see, Balon's un-Sith-like motivation and un-Jedi-like motivation is what makes him complex and interesting. He gave him a three-dimensional characterization that many villains lack. In Star Wars previously, we have seen Darth Vader be a bad guy, then redeemed. Kylo Ren be a bad guy, then redeemed. But now we're getting this new crop. You see, the Ahsoka series as a whole does not focus on good or bad, does not focus on light and dark, and this is where Ray Stevenson thrives. This is why the casting of Ray Stevenson was something that Star Wars definitely needed. You can see the result on screen. He sometimes steals scenes and episodes from Ahsoka, who the series is named after. Sometimes Balon is a better character than Ahsoka. It's interesting because by sheer presence alone, Ray Stevenson gave Balon that tough, gritty, intimidating feel that a character like him should have. He was burly, he was big. The actor knew how to play the part. Furthermore, when we go down the line of lore, Balon was instantly intriguing because he survived Order 66, which is a claim that few Jedi can make. But the rare combination of dark side traits, but also non-Sith tendencies, this makes him a very unique character. So, as I said, Ray Stevenson, why he needs to be praised is that he completely understood what Dave was going for with this series. He read the script and understood. You see, just as Ahsoka is not a Jedi, Baylan is not a Jedi anymore either. However, just as Ahsoka is not a Sith, Baylan is not a Sith either. They both do what needs to be done for the sake of the galaxy, for the sake of peace. So far in episode 4, we see that they go through it by different means, but they kind of had the same goal. Let's start with his lightsaber, for example. The first time we see it as orange. So immediately the uniqueness comes into play. Balon is not your typical Inquisitor, Darksider, but he's not your typical Jedi either. He works for Morgan Elsbeth and he wants Thrawn back. But here's the kicker. The moment you think that this guy will tip over and show his darkness, we see that Baylan actually shows sympathy for the Jedi and for Ahsoka. This is the first line we actually got the hint from.
Kill her. It'll be a shame. There's so few Jedi left.
What Ray Stevenson said himself. There's something that's driving him that Dave Filoni and John know, and is hopefully going to be revealed throughout the telling. He even added, "It's just breathtaking." Now, listening to this quote, Ray Stevenson definitely wanted to tell us something, because in Star Wars Celebration, just a few weeks before he passed, he said this.
And these characters arrive, and you think, all right, I got the measure of these two. And then you don't. And then you think, all right, okay, that's that. Shifts again. What is going on here? Who are these people? What is their goal?
He is a former Jedi Knight himself, so Baylan's sympathy towards the Jedi shouldn't be all that surprising, but the aren't usually the sentimental types. I mean, Anakin was a former Jedi also, but look what he became. Baylan is far from the first villain to begin his journey as a Jedi, but Baylan longs for the past in a way others don't seem to. He references old Jedi ways, displaying a lasting knowledge and reverence for the Jedi Order. But then he goes on to say that he has lost faith when Morgan Elsbeth mentions it, meaning that along the way, Baylan has not only lost the thing he served, the Jedi Order, the thing he believed in, but he also was disillusioned by their miscalculations. I truly believe that he thinks the Jedi Order made a mistake, but he also hated the Empire too, so he definitely doesn't belong to anybody. He hated the Sith, but he also was disappointed in the Jedi, so eventually he came to be so disillusioned that he lost faith in everybody. Let's not forget that along the way he has his adventures, and it goes without saying that I would love some episodes, some spin-off episodes with Baylan, maybe in Tales of the Jedi Season 2, where he works closely with Count Dooku maybe. That would be perfect. But by the time he arrived here in the Ahsoka series, he has completely lost faith. However, he still values the few Jedi that have remained alive. This is why when the time comes in episode 4 for him to duel Ahsoka, you visibly see this guy trying to convince Ahsoka not to go through with this, to not fight against each other. Before they face off, Baylan brings up, of course, Anakin Skywalker, who was known by every Jedi back in the day. But Baylan reflects that very few lived to see what he became, meaning of course Darth Vader. How did he know this? So again, even in episode 4, we still get a lot of hidden lore that we've not made aware of previously. Baylan doesn't serve the dark side, but doesn't serve the light. He has a different colored lightsaber. He has an apprentice that who knows who she is, and then he feels bad for the Jedi, and he knows about Anakin's turn to Darth Vader. How does he know so much? You see, Ray Stevenson gave this guy so much richness in his lore that it's kind of amazing that Dave Filoni could find this character out of nothing. This is a diamond in the rough. I equate him to Qui-Gon sometimes because both of them have that presence, that sheer stoicism where they don't need to discuss anything for their point to be made. Now, I know that Ahsoka was injured with the orb when she grabbed it, and Morgan's magic did burn her a bit, but I honestly think that Ahsoka was in over her head for a little bit because Baylan, you can see that he is very superior to anything Ahsoka has faced before. Darth Vader does come to mind, but that duel was not finished. This duel, though, whatever happened, came with Baylan's victory. And then came the most epic moment in all these 4 episodes. You guys know what I'm talking about, the do it moment. Now there are 2 do it moments in Star Wars. First is Palpatine. Now we have to include Ray Stevenson's line also. He delivered it beautifully, convincing Sabine to give up the sphere once more so that the calculations can be complete. What I honestly believe is that Baylan probably hates Anakin Skywalker. He feels bad for Ahsoka. This is why 2 times he was reluctant to badmouth her or go out of his way to kill her. It seems like Baylan did not turn to the dark side until he survived Order 66 and lived on to see the horrors that Anakin caused after the Empire took over. This is why he is bitter about the fate of the Jedi. He no longer has faith and he holds a grudge against Anakin even after his death. I can honestly say that after watching just 4 episodes, Baylan will go down as one of the greatest characters in Star Wars history. And yes, Dave Filoni did write this character up, but it was Ray Stevenson who gave him life, who brought him to the audience that we see now in this character that we love. This video just really took a lot out of me to make. It bummed me out, honestly, to know that we're not going to see him in season 2. I don't expect it. I don't know how they could pull that off. But in all honesty, with Ray's death, I believe that Baylan will be killed at the end of season 1. So let me know down below in the comments, and thank you guys so much for watching.